welcome to NUS Product Club's very first welcome tea. So there's a QR code as you all can see. So if you all scan this QR code, right, you all can give us some questions to answer at the end of this welcome tea. Yeah, we will address your questions as much as possible after everyone has presented Yeah, so in case the QR code doesn't work, you all can also log on to pigeonhole.at/PM1101E, yeah, which will be our flagship curriculum program. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so here's our agenda. So my name is Harry. So I'm the president of NUS Product Club. So together with me are Kaylee, who's our VP, and Joanna and Jane, the respective heads of curriculum and partnerships respectively. So this will roughly be what we will be covering now. Yeah. To share more about our club, especially as I mentioned earlier, we are a new club. Yeah. And then afterwards, we will have a frequently asked questions segment. So this is based on what people have submitted while signing up for the welcome tea. And then we'll also have a quick live Q&A session. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, yeah. So as I shared earlier, so my name is Harry. I'm gonna be a year 4 data science and analytics student. Yeah. So regarding how this club came about, right? Yeah. Because at least for myself, I cannot speak for others. So my background is in data science. So I used to be, in a sense, covered with this thought that being a data scientist is like the sexiest job of the 21st century, per se. But unfortunately, people like me kind of disagree because I think data science for myself, I think it can get too technical. So this is where really my interest in like product management kind of starts to come in, especially in one of my previous internships. I used to work under a product manager. Yeah. And although I still don't really know much about product management, to be honest, so this is briefly what I can roughly share about product management. Yeah, so what is PM exactly? So PM, at least from my understanding, is kind of liaising with different stakeholders in like a team. So as you can see in this diagram over here, so product management is kind of a mix. So you have your user experience. So for context, when you are like building an application, you need to there's like different aspects. So one is like user experience, where you need to conduct like your user research and whatnot to sort of like understand what it is you're building for, and whether your target audience likes your solution or not. And then you also have the tech people. So the tech people are like your software engineers who handle like both your front end and your back end of the app development. And you also have the business people. So the business people are like the people who help to sell your application. Yeah, so it can be either like in terms of like growth or marketing, for example. So really like being a PM is kind of like a stakeholder manager per se, where you really have to be well versed with everyone's lingo. So in like a designer's point of view, or a tech person's point of view, or business person's point of view. So you really need to know like multiple perspectives in order to build your ideal application. Yeah, so that's that. And then here's a rough overview of the responsibilities of a product manager, just for people's information. Yeah, so as you can see, there's this rough diagram that I kind of came up with. And there are like two different kinds of categories. So one is internal versus external. So internal, that means like within your development team. So whether it's like your UI UX designer or your software engineer or your internal growth or business team. And in terms of external, so these are like your clients or like your end users, as well as like marketing and sales also. So that's roughly internal versus external. And in terms of tactical and strategic, right? So it's more of like a long term and short term. So tactical is more of like a day to day, and strategic is more of like the long term. So this is roughly what a product manager kind of does. So for the internal side of things, in a more day-to-day perspective, you have stuff like your product development or your user testing or assessing the technical feasibility, as well as doing the product launch itself, whether the application has like bugs or whatnot, as well as like your prototyping, no matter if it's like low fidelity sketches or high fidelity using applications such as like Figma and whatnot. Yeah, so like those high-end software to really like draft out your application design and stuff. Yeah. And then in terms of this top right hand corner, so within an internal team, you also need to think long term. So because you're kind of building an app potentially for like many different users, so you need to come out with like product vision as well as like a product roadmap, which is really like planning out the different steps required to develop the application, for example, as well as like defining the overall objectives, the key results, and your KPIs on whether the application you're going to build is going to succeed. Yeah. And for the external side of things, we also have stuff like your product launch or your user interviews, as well as like your marketing, sales, as well as like analytics and your A/B testing. Yeah, so this is more of a day-to-day kind of thing for your external stakeholders to see. Yeah, and if you move into the long term, uh, the product manager also kind of has to do some form of like market research or competitive differentiation in order to really stand out like from the market you're kind of competing in, as well as stuff like positioning and market sizing. Yeah, so all this stuff is really to ensure that you are able to build an app that can be successful in its own right lah. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so moving on to our mission and vision. Yeah, so the purpose of us founding this club really, yeah, so for our mission, yeah, is we want to try to build a close-knit product community in NUS, regardless of experience level and backgrounds. Yeah, so for example, for myself, I'm a data scientist, but in our team, we also have people from like business or economics. Yeah, so as long as you're interested in product, no matter whether you have like technical background or not, we try our best to be open to everyone. Yeah. And our vision is to be the premier student club that caters to the needs of NUS students when learning more about PM, especially because we are actually if you're not wrong, we are actually the first club that kind of specializes in like educating more about PM. So I understand that there are different clubs in like maybe SOC, they actually like build applications and whatnot. But in terms of like the educational level, I believe we are the first club. So that's that. Okay, so more about the origins of NUS Product Club. So although we kind of mentioned we are new, so this idea was actually kickstarted by this person. So Mr. Wayne Lee, so he was actually an NUS graduate lah. Yeah, so he graduated in around 2020, and he was part of NOC, yeah, or NUS Overseas Colleges. So for information, so NOC is kind of like a flagship program from NUS, where basically the top students are interested in entrepreneurship, they go to other countries to do an internship lah. So that's that. Yeah. So this NUS Product Club originally started as an alumni run interest group. Yeah. So this person, Wayne, yeah, he actually created like a Telegram group, which I believe if you guys join the NUS Product Club chat, so that was the original group lah. Yeah. That is full of NUS alumni actually. So by any chance, if you guys get to join the NUS Product Club chat, there's a potential chance you guys get to network with these professionals lah. Should you guys join the Telegram chat later? Yeah, so with over 400 members across both LinkedIn and Telegram, right? So this kind of gradually attracted the interest of us, the founding team, who aim to make this an official interest group in NUS. Yeah. So because of this, we kind of conducted a survey across NUS students. I believe like over 80 of them. So this is just to present some findings for those who are not aware. Yeah. So this over here on the right, there's like a breakdown of the NUS students demographics who participate in our survey. So mostly from computing or CHS. So CHS is your science or arts and social sciences. But there's a fair amount of people from engineering and business also. Yeah. And based on the tele responses of students' personal score from 1 to 5 of their familiarity towards PM, it's kind of an average, a 3 out of 5. So this is just an opener. Yeah, so although many students, right, they are aware of what is product management, we believe that there aren't enough resources for NUS students to learn more about PM. So true enough, based on the results that you guys see over here, so yes, majority are aware of what's PM, And the majority who we've interviewed, they kind of considered PM as a full-time career, but there aren't many people who actually attended a PM workshop, as well as those who actually believe that there are enough PM resources in NUS. So they're actually the minority that based on our survey. So this is where we try to fill in the gaps. Yeah. And despite this, so many NUS students are still keen to learn more about PM and are interested in a wide array of topics based on their different backgrounds. Yeah, so I think it's pretty obvious. So most people are willing to attend a PM workshop, and the interest is yeah, so this kind of a quantitative thing. So most people voted 5 lah. So 5 means they are very interested. Yeah. And also we threw in like a bunch of not say random lah, a bunch of topics about product to see which are the survey respondents' top choices. So as you can see over here, the top choice is life as a product manager. And secondly is product strategy. And then third is product analytics. So maybe using more simple stuff like Google Analytics or like Tableau instead of your hard-on Python, R, SQL, all this to perform analysis. Yeah, this is more for the business aspect. As well as UI, UX and product design. And of course, product roadmap, because it is also very important to try to plan out everything that's required to really build your application and succeed. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so I think my segment is up. So I think I'll pass the time over to Kaylee to share more about the traction and structure of our club. Yeah, Kaylee.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Katie. I'm the VP of the Product Club. So I think next slide, maybe I'll just establish the differences between our Product Club versus the other clubs that are currently available in NUS. So we hope for NUS Product Club to be a club that uniquely focuses on product management as like a domain. So just like how NUS Invest and NUS Marketing has like a IG, that's something that we hope to develop similarly. So I guess our hope for our club is that we can provide networking opportunities as well as other curriculum workshops for different students from all backgrounds to come and explore what PM is based on their interests. Yeah, so we've written down, I think we took a lot of inspiration from other clubs such as SMU Product Club and Product Loft. So these are two different PM clubs that are one is based in SMU, the other is more alumni targeted. So I think we had a lot of like talks with these two clubs in order to shape our curriculum and see like where we can drive our clubs towards. Yeah, next slide. So I think we've been very heartened to see that we've gained a lot of traction and there's really a sizable interest in PM in our community, which is something that's really driven us to continue developing our curriculum and seeing like and driving our plans for the future. Yeah, so maybe onto the organizational structure, I'll talk a little bit more about our committee. So our committee currently has 24 members. It's quite a lean team. We have 4 main committees. So next slide. Currently we have I think this also goes to show like that we're really open to students from all backgrounds. And I know a lot of people have the concern that PM, since it's a role that's in tech, that you need like a technical background. But I think our committee also shows that like, oh, you can really come from any background and it's not necessarily they are technical. Next slide. Yeah, so on to our executive committee. So today we are joined by Joanna, who's the curriculum head, as well as Jane, who is our partnerships head. Unfortunately, our pubs and ops head isn't able to join us today. Yeah, but these are the 8 people that have really been driving the club from the start. Next slide. Okay, on to our planned activities. I'll just give a brief overview before our curriculum head and partnerships head goes into further detail of what they have planned. So firstly, our PM curriculum workshop. So this is what we're all here today for, PM 1101E. Then next, Jane will continue talking about our fireside chats and networking sessions that we have planned for the future, as well as any student sharings. So yeah, next slide. Okay, now I'll just pass on the time to Joanna.
Hey, hello everyone. So my name is Joanna, and surprisingly, I actually graduated in May 2023. I think you can see the banner behind, but it's a class of 2023. So currently I'm already in my full-time job working as a product manager as well. So I have been heading the curriculum team together with Jen, but he's unfortunately not be able to join us. So I just want to share a bit about our the planned curricular activities, especially the ones that you all have been asked quite frequently, which is the PM 1101 sessions. Next slide. Yeah, so just to give a more in-depth overview, maybe some of you have seen our Instagram posts, but this is the more in-depth overview that we have drafted out for a PM 111E sessions. Basically, this is our flagship and curated PM accelerator program that we believe is very unique in the market, because this contents that if you sign up and then you get selected to go through, is a unique set of curriculum that cannot be found anywhere online. I know some of you might have resources to, for example, product schools or things like online resources that teaches you how do you do PM and how do you develop your career in PM. But this set we believe is very unique. Because so I will go through the details later, but it's a 6 weeks kind of program. For the first week, it will be orientation. Because we will work very closely with your peers in the whole program. So we want you to know each other before you officially kickstart your program. From week 3 to week 6, week 3 to week 6 is the NUS curriculum, like calendar week. So week 3 to week 6, you will be going through 4 weeks of intensive, I would say quite intensive training sessions to learn about different aspect of product, like being a product manager. I think the focus here is more on developing a product, ideating, for all the way from ideating to really, I wouldn't say materializing, but more like to communicate your ideas to the rest of your teams. As you say that PM has a lot of stakeholder management inside as well. So the first week, which is week 3, we will learn about the lessons about product discovery. So then followed by user segmentation, in terms of how do you segment your users, and then how do you really ask your user the correct question so that you can build a product for them. And week 5 and week 6, we will learn more about the technical side. Although a lot of people say PM is a more soft skill based, from an extent it's true, because it requires a lot of stakeholder management and understanding about user problems. But at the same time, I think there is still a slightly technical side, which is using different frameworks and different methodologies so that you can make sure that your product aligns with forever aligns with the user expectations, and also you can communicate these expectations to the rest of your team. So week 5 and week 6, we will be learning about the PRFAQ framework that is developed by Amazon, and also the product requirement document, which is PRDs. If you are familiar with PMs, you always hear about this term PRDs, but how do you exactly curate and create one of them so that everyone gets your idea is something that you will get experience in this in week 6. So after these intensive trainings, we will hold an internal product competition. We will invite some of the CPOs or product management leaders in the industry to have you pitch your idea that you have been working on for the past half a sem, to pitch to them, and then to ask them to have them to give you some feedback in terms of what can you improve from there, and then how can you be a better product manager from there on. So it's a 6 weeks intensive sessions, and just a note that these sessions are compulsory because it's not we didn't want to make, it's not we purposely make it compulsory, but is that each session has its meaning, and then we believe that there's a need for you to attend so that you can get the most and the best out of these whole sessions. So we want to make sure that it's compulsory, and as what I mentioned, it most likely will be a paired or group work. So to be responsible for your teammates, try not to miss any sessions. And the timing of these sessions are tentatively at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Thursday. If you look up the calendar, all the dates falls on the Thursday evening. So just to let you know that if you have, I guess some people might have Thursday night class, so this might be something you have to consider. Yeah. Okay, so I think next slide. No worries, you can ask more during the Q&A later if you have any questions regarding the session entirely. So we have, in order for us to make it even better for everyone, we have brought in instructors that's currently on the field and reputable PMs that is practicing product management skills every single day in their daily life, or even to feed their babies. Yeah, so this is our set of instructors. So we have Jason, who will be leading the week 3 and week 4 sessions. He is currently the head of product management at Trust Bank. He was the product management leader in Carousel. So he worked in Carousel for quite a bit of time. And for weeks 5, we will have Jierong, who is also from Trust Bank currently, who is leading the customer experience side of the product. He was a Grab PM as well. He was a senior product manager at Grab. So we have Hazel for week 6. So she is currently a product manager at Foodpanda. So we believe that bringing the set of industrial experts will bring you the most. We will give you the most best and most experience out of this whole curriculum. Yeah. Next slide. So apart from the PM 101 sessions that as what we talk about, those are quite intensive. So we prepared a few, I would say, light-hearted programs for you all to make you feel a bit more closer to your heart. So these programs are more light-hearted, and then it has lower commitment levels as what it compared to PM 101. So we prepared 2 sessions. The first session will be a day of life as a PM. So we will collaborate with a real life PM as well. So give you an insider view of what a real life PM do on a daily basis. This session will fall on tentatively will fall on week 9, or on a Thursday as well. So lastly, we'll prepare another session called Cracking PM Interviews. I know a lot of you have been asking, how should I start my PM journey, or how can I secure my next PM internship? So we know your concerns and then we hear you. It is a difficult task to always to start as a first step. So we prepared these sessions to help you to crack PM interviews, to know what your interviewers might expect from you and what kind of questions you might be expecting while securing your first internship. So this session will also tentatively fall on week 10 on a Thursday too. Yeah. So these are the set of sessions we have planned for semester 1 of the upcoming semester. So please, if you are interested in them, or if you have any more other questions, please feel free to ask them at the end of the Q&A as well. Yeah. Now I think I'll pass the time to Jane.
Thanks, Joanna. Hi, everyone. I am Jane. Thank you so much for spending your Friday evening here. I think we are all pretty heartened to see that there are quite a number of you that is interested to find out about our club as well as the events that we have for the rest of the year. So we're very excited to share them with you. Just to introduce myself, I am the head of partnerships. I'm also heading partnerships together with my fellow member, Sean, but he's unable to make it today. So I'll be heading this section. And I'm also year 4.5, and I major in econs. So I've actually recently concluded my internship, and I will also be joining, I'll be joining like a B2B SaaS startup as a product manager after I graduate. And with that, I think we can talk about the upcoming events that you can possibly look forward to. Next slide. So as Joanna mentioned, one of the I guess limitations of the PM1101E curriculum is that it will be limited to a quota of 20 participants. So these are like some of the events that maybe people who did not manage to get into the PM1101E can look forward to joining. So we do have fireside chats that we've lined up to gain an insight into the lives of product managers and their industry, as well as their background and why they decided to go down the route of joining or like being a product manager. So in week 4, we have Kent, who is a product owner from Swire Shipping. And in week 9, we have Isaac, who is the VP of product at Shopback currently. He's also the co-founder and I believe the Chief Product Officer at HonestBee previously. And for week 11 and 12, this will be a third fireside chat session that is tentatively going to be held, but we are not but it's not confirmed right now. So this will probably be headed by the members of the partnership team, and they will be looking to look for a product manager that will conduct the third fireside chat session. So yeah, I believe the sign up links will be released closer to the dates itself. So do keep a lookout for that. I think you can just check the NUS PC Telegram channel periodically. And we are also currently exploring collaboration opportunities. We are always on the lookout to work with different organizations or even individuals, industry mentors to kind of expand our network that we can tap into for future events. So we are currently looking at potential collaboration with NUS FinTech Society, Social Impact Catalyst, so that we may create an avenue for members of our club to have like a real life practice or even application of what they've learned in the curriculum or any fireside chats that they have attended. And another thing that we are very excited about is kind of still in the pipeline is mentorship opportunities. I think Harry mentioned at the start that we want to be the student club and a platform where anyone who does not have a background or even prior knowledge on product management is able to explore their interests and further their interests. So this is something that we will be looking to, mentorship opportunities will be something that we want to explore in the future. Yeah, but that's all I have for you today. And next slide. If you have any interesting, partnership ideas or you are interested in collaborating with our club, you can feel free to reach out to our email. That's nusproductclub@gmail.com, or you can even reach me directly on Telegram. Okay, and I will hand my time back to Harry and Kaylee for the Q&A session.
Yeah, so once again, thanks Joanna and Jane for your respective sharings. I think our lineup is pretty stacked, especially because this will be our first semester running our different events and whatnot. But yeah, so now moving on to the FAQs or the frequently asked questions. So this is based on what you guys have submitted while registering for the welcome team. Yeah, so Kaylee and I will take turns to answer the top 5 questions that were flagged out during your registrations. So first question, how many MCs for PM11 or 1E? Is it a pass-fail module and whatnot? So I think this is pretty obvious as we have tried to publicize. So PM1101E is not an official NUS module, but we kind of chose the name because it was a club decision. So it's kind of a marketing thing where to kind of attract people to sign up actually. Yeah, but we've also received constructive feedback that we can possibly convert this to a DYOC or design your own course module. So for those who are not aware of this scheme, so to clear your unrestricted electives, so people can choose to design their own courses. So maybe you have people who have their own entrepreneurship modules or like self-design like Cantonese or Hokkien modules. So yeah, people actually can design their own courses per se. So all they have to do is to approach a staff advisor and see if this can be approved as a 2MC module, or actually now it's called course lah. But yeah, I think you guys get the idea. So we will see how the first iteration of PM1101E goes first, and if people are really interested, we can possibly explore of converting this to a DYOC lah, if this gets really popular. So yeah, I think moving on to the next question, which will be handled by Kaylee.
So again, yeah, back to the question of whether technical knowledge is needed. Again, like what we reiterated previously, it's not necessary, and you don't have to be from a technical background in order to join the curriculum or like be a PM in general. Yeah. Next question.
Okay, so rewards for joining PM1101E. So I think based on our signups, I believe this is kind of competitive, and in order to ensure that the people who we've shortlisted for this program truly get to benefit, right? So we will be providing a few benefits or rewards per se. Yeah, so first is a certificate of completion. So for this, we will try to ensure that the external instructors as well as our staff advisor get to officially endorse or sign this certificate. So for those who want to showcase this on their resume or their LinkedIn, whatnot, to prove that they have been professionally trained by these external instructors. So in a sense, they can use this cert to present to their potential employers to show that they have at least learned something and are ready to put their skill to actual practical use. Yeah. And for those who are in PM1101E, so these people will technically be considered our club members also. Yeah, so we will kind of prioritize them for future club events. So for example, as Jane mentioned, some of the upcoming fireside chats. So we can possibly do like an early publicity or release some early signups for these members to sign up for these events, as well as the personalized coaching from these external instructors. So we will try to keep the recruitment small per se, so that each individual who kind of joins PM1101E, they will get better and more personalized advice from these industry leaders. So that's that. I think this is also a good follow-up to the next question also, which Kelly will answer.
Yeah, so I think we've received some queries on why people were accepting for the curriculum. So currently, we plan to keep the batch small, so only about 20 slots will be available. So this is because we really want to create kind of like a personalized experience. We only have 3 or 4 external PMs that are able to come in and provide like coaching or mentorship in that sense. So yeah, we're hoping to keep the batch just small so that each member of the curriculum can really have a very like rich and deep experience in terms of building their PM knowledge. Yeah.
Okay, last question before we go on to the live Q&A for any additional questions. So are there any additional resources to aid non-technical students? So maybe those without coding background or whatnot. So because we were mentioning some of the top skills, including like product analytics or like product marketing or maybe UI UX design. So currently our team is in discussion to explore these potential ideas. Maybe either next semester or next year. I mean, depending on PM1101E also like once we collect the feedback from the actual participants, if they feel that additional workshops are required to sort of like supplement what they have learned in PM1101E, we may consider holding such technical workshops So maybe either using Google Analytics as I mentioned earlier, or in a sense of like UI UX design, maybe how to use Figma to prototype and whatnot also. Yeah, so as of now, we are just in the exploration phase, but yeah, hopefully if PL01 exceeds and people request for such technical workshops, we can also conduct these Yeah, so that's that.
Okay. So I think we'll move on to address some of the pigeonhole questions so far. So I'll just read out the question now sent into the chat. Most of them are about our current curriculum. So our curriculum head, Joanna, will take those questions. Yeah, so I think somebody asked if we are still processing the signups.
Yeah, so because actually we have received an overwhelming number of signups, and as what we for the first session we will keep the batch a bit smaller, so at 20 for this batch only, with the potential of expanding for next semester. So currently we are still processing the signups because we receive the signups on a rolling basis. So I understand that you might not have received any notice. It's because the amount, and then we only have actually a few people processing the signups. So you should receive your results latest by week 2 of the NUS calendar week, because week 2 is our orientation. So before then, you should receive the outcome of your application by then. Yeah. So we are sorry for keep you guys waiting, but we really hope that all your signups have been fairly taken care of, and then we fairly evaluate every single candidate, so we can ensure the maximum outcome for your whole journey here with us.
Okay, thanks, Joanna. So next question would be about the workload. So someone asked whether it'd be difficult to manage the workload on top of their 24 MCs. Yeah. Okay, I think if you see in our document, we mentioned about how that we take home assignments almost every week leading up to an internal product hackathon. So it will definitely require prep time outside of the 2 hours that you'll commit weekly. So that's why we said that it's probably equivalent to a 2 MC, almost like a 4 MC mod. Yeah. So I think that if you all sign up, you all be prepared to commit to the workload. And I think that it's fair in terms of how much we really hope that you all can read from the curriculum. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all the questions we have currently. Oh. Okay, yeah, all the program sessions will be held online. Will be held in person. Sorry. The location we are currently still deciding. So we'll get back. We'll release it at a later date to the participants.
So I guess before we properly end this session, so may I request that everyone like turn on their cameras. So I'm gonna take a quick picture lah of those who actually took the time off on their Friday night to sort of like join this session lah. So yeah, could you like turn on your cameras please while I like kind of set up the thing also. Okay, yeah, I think I will quickly take a picture. Okay, smile guys. Okay, maybe there's one more for those who missed out. Okay, so yeah, thanks everyone for turning on camera. So just one final slide that I want to show before I end this whole thing. So in case you guys haven't followed, so these are our socials. So we have our Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram channel, as well as our email if you need to contact us for anything.
Okay, so thanks everyone for joining us. I'll just send the FAQ document that our team has done up if you all have any more questions. So thanks everyone for your time. If anyone has any other
Thank
questions,
you.
you can PM us. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.